The best first chapter I have ever read. This is the quote that led me to read Earthchild, and I'm having quite a hard time disagreeing with it. So, we start the story seeing a guy being saved by this hero girl with her telekinetic powers. And she is really strong. She not only stops the truck coming their way, but she also lifts it up in the air like it's nothing. And before she leaves, she erases the guy's memory. Except she couldn't erase his memory of her. Every other detail faded, except for her. He was so fascinated by the one who saved his life that he just couldn't forget her. We then see him waking up in his house without a memory of anything but the face of that girl. So we follow him going through the city trying to look for her, which is quite an impossible task if you ask me, but lo and behold, he finds her. They talk a little, and in the conversation, he ends up telling her how he feels about what she does and her work in general, and her feats of going around saving people and doing good deeds. And her reaction is to be flattered, which is expected, but in this context, it means a lot more for the character. Since we know she erases the memory of anyone who sees her working as a hero, we know that she never hears any compliments about her work. She just does her job and nobody even knows she does it. So this fact alone creates a pretty special connection between the both of them. She then explains to him how her job works and he praises her again. She feels good about hearing all those positive things about her and the work she does, but then we have this panel. She leaves, which is good enough for us to start building her character up. She is a hero who works for the government. She likes and wants to help people, but at the same time, she feels the need to have someone hear her talk about this stuff that she does, and someone to recognize her for the job she does and for how great she is and how much she puts on the line every day for other people. And this guy, he offers that. Not because he has any second intentions or anything, but because he feels that way. He wants to talk to her about it. He wants her to know what he thinks about her work and about her character. And this makes her feel all kinds of things, including the desire to be with him again and to talk more. But then we see her leave, erasing his memory again, which goes to show that even though she wants all of these things, she feels like she can't have it. She even says that bringing him into her life would not be good for him. So we know that this is another act of sacrifice of her, another heroic act, if you will. But not only that, it also looks like there's a little bit of fear coming from her of actually having to share this hero life that she never shared before with anyone. But after another mission, she feels compelled to give him another chance, to try and have a relationship with him, a real one. So they meet again, and the relationship starts. She keeps fighting crime, and they keep meeting to talk about whatever and just spend time together. And during this part of the manga, and also on the beginning of it, the author makes a really great use of the thought balloons to convey how the characters are feeling. And they rely heavily on this, which can be a bit distracting at times, but it feels like you're reading a book. There's just a lot of information that allows you a lot of information there for you to absorb and reflect on that allows you to connect more and learn more about these characters. During this period, she explains to him how these Earthchild people come to existence. These people acquire their powers during the gestation period, and that can only happen if the child ingests enough earthly materials. And even if they do, there's only a small chance that they will get the powers. And every Earth child seems to be born with different kinds of powers, but we're only introduced to her in this chapter, so that's a topic for another time. After that, she explains that their goal here is to protect the planet, but that they are really not all that special. They're rare, yes, but not really special. They could be replaced, for example, by a couple thousand people, which is a lot, but considering how rare they are, it wouldn't be really much of a trouble to replace all of them. And during this conversation, Reisuke declares himself for her. They get married, have a child, and a couple of months after that, an asteroid is set to collide with Earth, one that will destroy all human life on the planet. And we are once again faced with a hard decision that they have to now face as a family. Does she go out risking her life to save the planet, or does she stay home and enjoys the little time they have left? And this is a really hard decision, not only because she doesn't know if she can stop that asteroid, but also, even if she did know, she doesn't know if she's gonna come out alive after she does it. But there's something here that I can't quite ignore. In a world where people like this exist, and we know they do, aren't there any other options? Aren't there any other Earthchild that could go out there and just save us? Aren't there any types of rockets and missiles that we could send to destroy the asteroid? Aren't there any satellites that we could use to kind of change its trajectory so that it doesn't hit Earth? I mean, there are a lot of possibilities that weren't even considered here just for the sake of telling this nice story, which I can kind of accept, but it's hard to look over that fact. But if we can put that aside, we are left with a very dire situation where even if she chooses to save the planet, she might fail and everybody on Earth, including her, would die. After a hard discussion, they decide that she will go. And she does. She starts to move the asteroid, but fails. Things got a little bit out of hand, but she is eventually able to pull through, knowing that her child's life depends on it, and she destroys the entire comet to pieces, leading to what's probably the most amazing page of a first chapter that I have ever seen. And after she destroys the comet, we cut back to Earth, where we hear Reisuke's thoughts about the situation. Even with her death resulting in the salvation of the world, he questions if that really was the best decision. Besides not having a lot of time to develop the characters through the years, the author was really able to pull off an amazing sequence of events tied to each other and spread a couple of years apart from each other that are able to tell the story of a conflicted wife with a hero job and a supporting husband with a regular life, who, in amidst all of this madness, were able to love each other and have a life together. I really thought it was going to be just another regular shonen, but I'm glad I was wrong. And at the end, we also discover that their kid has powers just like the mom. This was a great way to kick things off, and I'm ready to see where they go from here. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I'll see you next week with a new chapter breakdown for Earthchild.